This session is going to cover how to quickly and effectively bring in multiple images. As you can see on the screen, I have 6 images that are perfectly aligned in identical shaped frames. Let's have a look and see how we can achieve this. So there's lots of ways of bringing in many images in one go. One of the ways would be to go to File, Place, choose a selection of images. I'm going to hold down Shift so that I've got several images, and Open. Now look how I end up with a loaded cursor. The number in the middle represents how many images are loaded into that cursor. If I simply click, I will end up with an image that's thrown right across the screen. That very much depends on whether it's high resolution and how big it was in Photoshop. If I click and drag out a shape, then I'm in control and I can decide how large I want that image to be. Now, once I brought these images in, they still have an automatic frame. So you can see how you have a loose image and you have a frame. Okay, so let's have a quick look now at some shortcuts to create some evenly spaced frames. So I'm going to get rid of all of these and I'm now going to go to the frame tool. If your toolbar is not looking the same as this, don't forget you can click these small arrows to align the tools to match mine. And if you're finding that you don't have all the properties, etc. on the right hand side, you might want to go up to the window and check your workspace is set to Essentials. Okay, so I'm going to go to a frame and I'm going to click and drag out a shape. And at the same time, I'm going to use the up and down arrows and left and right arrows located on my keyboard. The important part now is don't let go of the mouse. I've created 4 even frames. Look at the cross throughs, they're showing me that we actually have empty photo boxes waiting to be filled. So now I'm going to go up to File and Place and I'm going to choose 4 images and Open. Don't forget to hold down Shift at that point. Then simply click on each frame in turn, and then once you've got all of those filled, remember to move away from the frame tool and back to the main selection tool. This should be one that you automatically return to whenever you've completed drawing shapes. So I'm now going to drag over to get all of those 4 boxes and back down to the frame fitting. Okay, so that's one way of achieving this. If you're using a Mac, you will find the drop and drag feature very useful. It works on a PC as well, but it isn't quite as straightforward and easy to view the different windows. So I'm grabbing 4 images here, drop and dragging from the desktop. There we go. And again, use the up and down arrows to get your boxes. And that is that completed. The last thing I'm going to show you in this tutorial, which is almost a separate issue, is how to draw random shapes and use this selection tool. It's called the direct selection tool. So I'm going to find a polygon frame underneath this option. I'm going to click on the screen, double click in fact, and you can choose how many sides and stars you want. So I'm ending up with a shape a little bit like this. Come over to the right hand side and pop a stroke on it. There we go. Now that can actually contain an image or you can fill it with a colour. Well, what I want to show you now is how to use the direct selection tool. Now, if we go in a little bit closer to this shape, you will see it's made up of things called anchor points. And each one of those is solid at the moment. Now this is the bit you must remember, is to click onto the white page, which deselects all of those anchor points, and simply click on one anchor point to reshape your polygon. Now look how all of these anchor points are hollow, except for the ones that are active. So have a go at that. My name's Celia Rumley, I'm your lecturer, and I hope to see you on the next session. And do work through the activity sheets just to make sure you're comfortable with what we've discussed so far.